everyone, this is Catherine from Buggling Embroidery Designs. Today I want to show you how to make the lip gloss or whatever you want to put in them, pocket snap tab designs. You can hook them onto anything you'd like, your purse, your keys. I already have one on my keys. I need to do one on my purse next. And they have a little pocket. This one I have 2 lip senses in right now, and this one snaps right here. So this one has like a little side snap, kind of fun little angled stylish one. And this one I have my daughter's, my 11-year-old, she's actually right next to me. I have her lip gloss in it, but it also fits other kinds as well. And hers is right here. So these are very easy to make. I'm using today some white mirror glitter canvas vinyl, and you can choose your own fabrics of choice. We can talk about that more as I'm cutting or something in a little bit. So let's get started. The first thing I did was load my design into my machine, and then I hooped a sheet of stabilizer nice and tight. Always should sound like a drum. This one I'm using a piece of cutaway, but you can use tearaway as well. Both work fine. The key is just to make sure you have it nice and tight in your hoop. So the first thing I did was load this in my machine, and I ran the placement stitch onto my stabilizer. So that's the very first step. Now the next thing you want to do is you're going to take a piece of vinyl. In this case I try to find the straightest edge. So I am going to lay that just over my placement stitch line a little bit, and then I'm going to tape that down. So I will do that right now. Okay, so I just taped down my piece of vinyl a little bit over that line, and now I'm going to load it back in my machine, and I'm going to run step 2. In this case, it is a line to secure the top of the pocket, along with a small circle, which will be your placement tool for your snap when we're done. Okay, so I just ran that second step, and that secured that down and added the little circle as I said it would. Now in this design, the next 2 steps are the wording for the center of the pocket. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my hoop back in my machine. You didn't have to remove your hoop, I just was showing you guys. I'm going to load that in and run the next 2 steps, and then I'll be back with you in a jiffy. Okay, so we just went ahead and ran the infinity symbol that says beauty with the lips. So it's my little design for infinite beauty. Then the next step, what I like to do is I cut around this area here where this placement stitch is. Now I know it sounds silly, but it will help you in the end. So I'm just going to go ahead and take a pair of scissors, and I'm just poking from the back. Doesn't have to be pretty. I just leave a I leave a little bit of a border around it as well for trimming. If I wasn't doing a video, sometimes I just do it down with an X-Acto knife or scissors, or if I'm using tearaway, I just pop it out. And then I like to turn it over, and I like to pull it downward, and then I trim right above that line of stitching for the top of the pocket. So at this point you have, the back looks like this. Don't worry about this. This is going to get hidden. Your front is your pocket. Now if you laid your top of your pocket fabric down a little crooked, this is a good time to trim that up. So mine is just a hair crooked, but I'm going to leave it just so we can keep going with the video. Okay, so the next step I do is I take a piece of vinyl or fabric, whatever I'm using, and I'm going to put the good shiny side down against the bottom of the hoop, and then I'm going to take another piece and I'm going to put the shiny side up. So they're wrong sides together onto the back of the hoop. And I just like to use some sort of tape. This is masking tape, which is actually kind of getting dry, so I'm going to use a little extra than I normally do, because it's not holding as well as it used to. I think it's time for a new roll. These are so fun. I think you're going to really like them. It's so simple to make, truly. Okay, I've got a little extra on there just because my tape's not very sticky anymore. So I am just going to put that back in my machine, make sure it's going the right way, and I am going to put that in, and I'm going to run the very last step. That's very easy to stitch out. They're very fast. So I'm going to go ahead and run that now, and then I'll be right back and we will meet over at my work table. Okay, just kidding. I wanted to take a moment, and I started stitching the final stitch out, and then I wanted to let you know, if your machine has a hard time getting over the bump of where the pocket lays on the other two, you can take a clear piece of scotch tape and put that right there, and that will help you get over the bump. Some of my designs it goes one way, some the other, so just add a piece of scotch tape on both just to hold it down so your machine makes it over the hump better. Not many machines have problems, but some do, and many machines you might not even know you can actually have your presser foot raised when you go over that pocket. So I just wanted to give you that quick tip, and I'm going to finish stitching it, and then I will meet you over at the work table this time. Okay, my embroidery machine just finished stitching the final outline. So I took my hoop out of my machine and I brought it over here to my work table to show you. This is what the back looks like. This is the front. At this point, I just pop it out of my hoop, set my hoop aside, and I like to rough cut my design out of all the excess so I'm not holding on to all that while I do my fussy cutting. If you use tearaway stabilizer, at this point you may choose to tear out your stabilizer from the edges, but I used cutaway and I don't do that either way. I don't feel it's necessary, but a lot of people feel it's important, so it's entirely up to you and your preference. So now I'm going to grab a pair of scissors and I'm going to fussy cut around the edges, and trying out some new scissors I got. They say Jim Holtz. So I usually like to start at the tab. I don't know why, it's just kind of like a habit. And as I'm cutting, I can even zoom in for you if you like. Okay. Alright, as I'm cutting, I hold my scissors slightly outward. Oops, I just had a boo-boo there because I moved my arm over. And I use the bottom half of my scissors to make my cuts. I hold my scissors slightly outward to undercut. I just kind of pretend there's an invisible line and I'm trying to follow that line. these scissors have a serrated edge, and as you can see, I'm turning with my left hand and moving it, and you can, I don't know if you guys can hear in the video, but it keeps making a funny sound. But they cut like butter. I'm just loving these. Love them, love them, love them. In fact, I actually need to slow down right here because it wants to cut so smoothly. Oh, amazing. I see me using these a lot in my future. Okay, so I cut out the design and I left the small border. You might need some cleanup on the back if you have some little threads hanging. Someone just told me they use a lighter to just lightly singe them. I haven't done that. I just trim off the longest pieces, and sometimes I detangle the knots if they're like looped under, like that one, but that's going to get covered by my snap, so I shouldn't have to worry about too much of that one. So just in case, I'm going to clean it up a little bit, especially around the outside. Okay, so here we go. We have it all cut out and ready. So the next step is to, we'll start with our snaps. I take my awl or a leather punch and I poke a hole through the center of each one. Now for the pocket one, you want to make sure that you are not putting it through the second layer. Only put it through the pocket layer. So if I hold mine slightly sideways, I can get it through, or I hold it this way and go in from the inside to the outside. Either way works just fine. So the next thing I need to do is grab some snaps. These are cam snaps, size 20, standard prong, and you will need 2 snaps and a socket and a stud. So easy peasy. We're just going to put inside our pocket one of the snaps from the inside to the outside. And I have very, very chubby fingers, so it usually takes me 2 tries, especially when I'm nervous doing a video. Okay, so I put that in there from the inside going to the outside. Now the easy part for this one is to take your socket or your stud, lay that on top of there. I push down a little bit just so it holds well, and then I take my pliers and I just insert them into the hole, line it up, squeeze, and voila, that part of the snap is all finished. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing for this side, turning it over, insert from the back to the front, and then we're going to lay our stud over the snap. Oops. He wanted to go hop away. Okay, so then I just open my pliers, I insert the cap to that part, give it a little squeeze, and now we have a pocket. So that part's done. So now we come to the other tab, and this is where I like to use these swivel lobster clasps with a D-ring. I like the D-ring the best. I started out using the circular ones, but I feel like the D-ring, it gives you more room. It looks so professional, and I really like them. You'll see in a second. So I just like to slide that on there, and I like to fold my tab over, and I just give it a little punch where I want my hole. Okay, so I've punched a hole, and I'm going to use, instead of snaps on this, I've been really into using rivets lately. So this one I'm going to use a 9mm rivet. You can also use larger ones. It's up to you what you want to use. So I put my rivet in there, and I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to find a little cap, and then you just insert the cap on the back. And then, because I put from the front to the back, I'm going to put the front into the bottom of my press, and I'm just going to give it a little press. It doesn't take a lot of pressure. I'm just at an awkward angle right now because the video camera's in my way. But that is how easy this is. This is all done, and it literally just took a few minutes to make. It's awesome. I love it. I try to make Buglina designs as easy as possible and have many functions. These are, let's see, this one is Bare Minerals lip gloss. I'll put that one in there. This one is Mac Studio, not sure what that is. I just raided my daughter's room, so I'm sliding those in there. And then this one has like a side pocket, so I'm just gonna kind of fold it to the side. Oh boy, dog's going crazy upstairs. Apologize for that. So you can, use them for what you'd like. I was even thinking, I wonder if like I could put my mascara or eyeliner. There's all different kinds of things you can put in them. Ooh, I know what would be good too. A little concealer stick when you need concealer. If you have a little blemish you need to cover up. So that's all there is to it. They are very easy. And I'm going to pause this video for a second. Okay, so we're all done. Like I said, they're very simple to make, and they're a lot of fun. I cannot wait to make more designs. I actually have a couple more in the works that still need testing. I wanted to talk to you real quick about fabrics. Let's say you wanted to use some cute cotton fabrics. You can go ahead and iron on some like Heat and Bond Light to the back before you embroider. I'm going to actually move you over to me so I can talk to you guys. Okay, so yes, these are super easy. You can use different fabrics for sure. You could use marine vinyl, you can use cotton fabrics as long as you reinforce them. Blackboard fabric is one of my absolute favorite things to use because it's so dark, and when you put your bright colored threads on them, they just pop. They're awesome. I love them. And I also want to note this concept is also the same for my fidget spinner designs. I have the same kind of concept. Each one has a pocket. I do them the exact same way. The only difference is some of them, instead of having, when we stitch over the, I'm going to pull this out so you can just see better. See how, remember we laid down the flat piece of straight fabric here? Some of them might have a decorative edge. You just got to make sure when you go to lay down your vinyl, you cover that top of the pocket all the way. And then when you go to do the Catherine's Crazy cutting, which is the cutting I do around the stabilizer, that's when you would trim along the top of those lines, whether it's curved or angled. It's the same concept. They're very simple to do. So that is it. I hope you love them. I do, very much so. My 11-year-old, who is a complete preteen right now, and you know, usually mom's always wrong, and mom, you know, she's in her own little world at this time. She is gaga over them. So you know you got a winner when your kid actually likes something, which is pretty cool. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any other questions about these, please feel free to ask in the Bugalina group, or message the website contact form, or the live chatting on the website. Again, that's www.bugalina.com, and that's BUGGALENA. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like them. Until next time.